Here's a UFO at a space station today. The UFO is kind of a gray, purplish metallic in appearance, but it's difficult to see because it's the sun in the background way over in this direction that shines a light on the UFO. The UFO is following the space station. It does move position a little bit, but not very much. And the UFO does appear like a disc or cigar shape later on, and earlier on it's more rounded with a little bit of a right angles in here, as you see. So let's look at that video and get your opinion on what this is. This UFO appears very small, so if you want to see the full view of this screen, jump to about 75% into the video and I'll post it to the end of it. That way it's untouched, enlarged. Right now you're looking at the enlarged version at closer up. And the UFO, it appears from behind parts of the space station. The UFO is sitting there, and it's not just not moving, it is moving. I mean, the space station itself moves incredibly fast, orbiting the Earth several times every day. So the thing is, this UFO is tracking the space station because it's keeping up with the space station, although sometimes it starts moving away and sometimes it starts moving towards. So it does move its position. Oh, look at that. Red screen. Okay. NASA goes to a red screen now when they say UFOs to alert the person. I think it might be part AI system or something. That way they wake up and see there's a UFO there. But apparently nobody's watching. A lot of those eggheads are too busy playing on their phones, talking to their wives about getting milk and stuff when they go home. I don't think they're focusing on the screen. I don't think they're paid enough to watch this for hours and hours and hours. It's probably considered torture to some of those guys. But if you look at this UFO, you can see that the UFO is getting further away from the space station in times and moving closer to the space station at times. And it'll actually change shape. Right now, the shape of the UFO you see is round. Okay, it looks like it's round. But as it gets a little bit closer, the UFO will turn and you'll see that it's actually quite long. It's actually a long UFO. So the part you're looking at right now is probably from the front. And NASA just changed screens, red screen again, indicating there's a UFO. Please focus on it. And apparently NASA is still not focused on it because this UFO is going to be there for another 5 minutes. But I've never seen NASA go to a code red screen before. This is the first time ever I've seen a red screen. Usually it's a blue screen, and but this one is just incredible. Clearly NASA sees it, or at least their AI system sees it. Yes, AI systems can be made to do this. There's already AI systems on the internet that you can download for free, use on Windows cameras, Windows Live Cam. So if you have Live Cam to stick out your window at the sky, it'll automatically record anything that it catches flying past, and it will record it only those objects. So you'll look at the things it caught for the last 24 hours. So there are such AI systems, and clearly right now NASA has one of those AI systems, wow, working right now. And kind of makes you question, why does NASA need an AI system to record UFOs coming by? I don't know. But look at this object. The object will soon, in about 1 or 2 minutes, you could fast forward if you're bored with me. I'm already bored with me. I'm kidding, I'm joking. But if you want to fast forward to it, another 2 or 3 minutes, you'll see that this object turns into sort of a disc. Maybe it turns sideways, maybe it moves closer. It's really hard to tell. Right now you see a light, bright light of the sun shining on the screen. It doesn't affect the UFO at all. Okay, this is not an anomaly from the light reflection or anything like that. This object will stay after the light reflection is gone. You'll see that I am not changing anything. I'm not editing the light. I am not doing anything but showing you a close-up version of the UFO. And I'll show you the far-away version at the 75% mark of the video. But as you can see, this UFO is still following the space station. However, it's moved a little bit further away. So, and the shape seems to be changing. Perhaps it's coming closer, a little bit larger now. And what do you think about that red screen? Have you ever seen that before? Now, I've been reporting UFOs at the space station for over 5 years, and as far as back as I've ever seen, I've never ever seen a red screen. Never. This is the first time, and red always indicates emergency situations. Black, red. Oh, look at that. Okay, so it goes black, then to red, and back to the UFO. The UFO has changed position a little bit. You can't see, but I have a little mark on my screen, and it's actually gone lower, much lower than it was earlier. The camera hasn't changed. The lighting, the reflection a little bit has gone. And as you see, the UFO is still there. And it's quite solid. And it looks like it's probably, if I had to take a guess, I would say 300 meters off of the space station, between the space station and Earth back there, probably. No, that's not Earth back there, I'm sorry. That's black space. And as you see, when this light reflection disappears, the black space will appear normal again, which makes it much easier to catch a UFO if it's against black space. Now, this UFO is very, very strange in shape. It really is. But I will enlarge this to HD. It's still going to be a blur because NASA gives us these old iPhone 3 cameras attached to the space station, where they use the actual $7 million 2 HD cameras for spying on other countries, and do not allow the live cams to ever use those cameras because they don't want the public to have access to those kind of secrets. So I get it. We'll have to make do with what we got, and NASA can clearly go spank themselves. But this, there we go. Code red. Awesome, baby. That is incredible. This is the third or fourth time they've gone to red screen. Third or fourth time. Absolutely incredible. In just a minute, it will come back, and I believe the UFO will begin to change shape from being a more rounded object to kind of a triangular object, and then it will start turning into a cigar-shaped, longer object. Tubular. Wow, this is the longest red screen I've seen. You might want to fast forward a little bit. I'm not sure how long this one's going to take. Clearly, the AI system is really trying to alert NASA of this UFO, and no one's noticing. I have the NASA sound on, but I just don't see the sound's on, but there's just no volume coming from it. Now, this is really, really strange. I'm not sure what's happening here. I will check, and oh, there we go. Yep, okay, NASA's. Still nothing. Okay, it's naturally going back. There it is again. Okay, there's the UFO. Now, I didn't want to cut any of that earlier. I did not want to cut any of that. I wanted to leave it uncut and fresh so you can see it. You can enlarge it. You could even fast forward if you want to use the fast forward speed on YouTube. But this UFO, I wanted to show you clear, uncut stuff. And as you see, this UFO is still there. It's moving a little bit further to the left of the space station. And, well, the sun is getting brighter, but this is not a reflection. Now, you might even see reflections go around this, but you'll never see the reflection change the shape of the UFO. The UFO sticks there. It's a solid object about 300 to 400 meters back. It's really far back there. Uh, very, very strange. And I thought by now it would be changing to a cigar shape. Earlier I looked at the full video of it, and so what I'm showing you is that wow, it's moving a little bit to the left. Moving to the left. The object will turn to a cigar shape a little bit later. Now I'm not sure if we're looking at the front forward view, the cockpit area of it, or what, but it's just too far away. Now what you're seeing is the enlargement. What I'm seeing is a little tiny speck on the full big screen. Okay, so it's really hard to comment on the actual detail of it once it's enlarged, because I'm reporting it like I see it right now. I have no idea right now. It kind of looks like a TR-3B from this distance, a triangular aircraft, a triangular craft created by United States Air Force that uses alien technology, and it has a center part of the triangle. TR-3B has a giant strobe in the middle of the triangle craft that glows very brightly, and there's 3 other smaller propulsion systems on each corner. Look at that, it's fading a little bit, maybe moving a little bit further away. But I don't see any of those glowing systems. Usually those systems only glow upon takeoff. Once an object is flying around, it that glows much less. So maybe this is one of those systems. Maybe this is actually a United States Air Force TR-3B following the space station, keeping tabs on things to make sure they're staying safe. Or to protect them from alien craft getting too close, you know, protecting the space station, saying, hey, this is ours, back off. So, wow, this UFO has actually gone down. Okay, let me move my cursor up here. The UFO started right here in the beginning of the video, and now it's moved down, way down to here. Okay, I got a little marker on my screen. You can't see it, but it was right here, and now it's moved down to here. This thing is not the moon. Moons do not follow the space station. The moon would have been lost long ago, and the moon would have been much larger. You see how big this circle is? Well, the moon is 2 times bigger than that circle. So whatever this is, it's very unusual. It is following the space station. You can say, oh, Scott, it's space junk. Well, this space junk has its own proportions. I can't even talk. Propulsion system, and it has its own directional ability. How is it able to perfectly follow the space station, perfectly matching its speed? Space junk can't do that. Space junk will fall behind. It doesn't have the ability to keep up at the exact same speed. It would either pass it or fall far behind and go off to a distant direction. So this is not space junk. Whatever this is, it is following on purpose. It has its own intelligence driving it. Whether it's a probe, whether it's a alien flown UFO, who knows? But it's not unknown to catch UFOs at the space station. Now, this is a longer video than I was planning, but as you see right now, the UFO is getting closer. Now, how do you know it's getting closer? Because it's getting longer. Now, it's not a round object anymore. You see how long it is? Do you see how long it is? It's pretty big, isn't it? It's kind of crazy. So this object is gone unnoticed by the people at NASA that's supposed to be watching this camera. Holy crap, now you can really see the disk. Apparently, staring at a screen is kind of considered too torturous for them unless it's their iPhones. So, I don't know why they're not watching this. If they were watching this, I'm sure they would change cameras immediately. But I was just lucky that I caught it and recorded it. So, this is just the close-up version, and in a few minutes, I'll include the faraway version unedited also. Man. It's really changed shape, which means it's come a lot closer. It was like 300 meters off before. Now it looks like it's 150 meters away. This thing's huge. This thing's really big. I'd say about 75 meters across. That big. So it's not a small, tiny little craft, whatever it is. It's actually pretty large. And right now, you can actually see that it does have a lot of appearances of a disc. Okay, it's lighter on the top because of the sun and darker around edges where it's more rounded, and really dark on the bottom. Sorry, we just lost its focus. Oh man. Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. It's coming back. There you go. There you go. Now, of course, NASA's going to say, "Oh, this is just Venus. This is Mars. This is a trick of your eyes. It doesn't really exist." Venus, Mars don't follow the space station in orbit around Earth, as far as I remember. That would not happen anywhere in astronomy or astrophysics, for that matter. But this object is clearly following the space station, and it's really close. Close enough that it should be firing alarms off the space station saying, "Warning, warning, object approaching space station, prepare for impact," or something. And if that's true, if this object's really that close, then they should be preparing for impact, that they should actually be inside of the Soyuz escape modules at this very moment. But I don't think they'll alert the public to that if they are. And if this is just a UFO, if it's not space junk, if it's nothing else, then they probably won't even get into their Soyuz space capsules, because they probably get this every single day. Every single day, okay? I don't check all the time. I don't check every day. I was sick for the last 3 days with the Asian flu, so I haven't been posting too much. Sorry about that, guys. Still getting over it, still trying to feel better. So you might hear me and my voice feel a little bit sick or something. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get over this stuff. When the Asian flu gets you, it really, it's nothing like the American flu that I used to get. It's much harsher, and it sticks with you for almost a week. Wow, look at that disc. That is a disc, isn't it? It really appears to be a disc, not a cigar-shaped UFO. But we really need to get this thing closer. Now, I'll make some screenshots and include them in the video at the beginning of the video to show you the screenshots enlarged. So as big as this is, I'm going to enlarge it 10, 20 times for you with the screenshots. I'll show you about 10 seconds of that at the beginning of the video. And we'll see what that looks like. And hopefully we can get a lot more detail than what we got here. From what I see, it comes in and out of focus. And I can't blame the UFO on that. I can only blame the NASA cam, because even this solar panel down here, you can't see it, or this part of the space station here with little solar arrays here, even this is out of focus, as you see. And it's mostly because of the reflection of light and the cameras being, cheaper than crap. So it's basically nothing to do with the UFO at all. It's just NASA not giving a crap about allowing the public to have decent cameras. And yes, those decent cameras are there. I can actually show you videos with the cameras in it. It's on the other part of the space station. You can't see it here. Okay, that UFO seems to be getting a little closer, isn't it? A little bit closer. Oh, that's sweet. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God, that is so cool. That is so cool. Okay, that's even closer than I saw earlier. That's pretty amazing. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so that's pretty cool. It does look like a disc from the side, but it could also be a cigar-shaped UFO. Now, is it moving further away, or is it blurring? It looks like it. It looks like it moved a little further. And now it's coming closer again. Strange. It's hard to tell, really, with these crappy NASA cameras. But you can expect the screen to go to red again very soon. Apparently the AI system is catching it and recording it, but everyone at NASA is probably asleep at this moment or something. It's hard to tell. You know, people do sleep on the job, especially if they're staring at an empty blank um, video screen. Wow, they really missed this one. This one's just sitting there. Jesus. Okay, it's kind of fuzzy now. It's kind of blurring there, and it's losing a lot of focus. Coming back into focus a little. Strange. Absolutely cool. Wow. I don't know if you can see this, but there is a golden plated solar panel. One of the long wings with solar panels on to collect energy, slowly rising, and it will eventually block the UFO. Now, as the solar panel rises, you'll notice the UFO stays where it is. Um, Actually, the UFO has moved quite a bit from the beginning of the video. It was over here, and now it's moved over here. The mark on my screen, you can't see it, is right here, and the UFO has moved this distance from here to here. But you see, this solar panel has nothing to do with the light reflection. The UFO has nothing to do with the light reflection, because if this UFO was a light reflection, then as this solar panel was moving, this UFO would be moving over in this direction. But it's not. The UFO is staying there. Watch my cursor. Watch my cursor. The UFO is staying there, but this solar panel is coming closer and closer and closer, and the UFO is not changing much. It does appear a little bit further away now. It does appear further away, but I think it's because of the lighting. The lighting is changing, and now you can see the blackness of the space back here, which is kind of awesome. Oh, the UFO is disappearing behind the solar panel. And there it goes.
Thank you very much, Sergey. And this completes our evening BBC. Thank you for an excellent day and a great start to the week. We wish you a nice week as well. Have a good evening, and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye. Thank you. Good night. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.
Now what you see here, you heard them communicating with mission control down there and saying goodnight. Apparently the astronauts are going to sleep, so they're not going to notice this. But the UFO has just appeared back there. This is where the UFO just begins to appear. And since astronauts are sleeping, they're not going to be interested in working, looking out the windows, or anything else probably. This is the full far away version of it. And I'll let it sit here for the next 20 minutes and just let it go with that. All right, thank you. This is Scott C. Waring of UFO Sightings Daily. Please like and subscribe, and I'll get back to you soon. Going to red screen. Let's fast forward a little bit. Okay, there you see it. Now it's a disk form. You can see it's a disk, and it's moved positions from here to here. You can see the space station's a little blurry. The sun's very bright, shining from over in this direction, I guess. But the UFO is reflecting on this side, oddly. See, the light's on this side of it and dark on this side. The sun should be over here or something because this side's so bright. But it is lighting up the UFO. I don't think the UFO has its own lights. It looks like it is lighting up the UFO. Let's fast forward a little bit. Pretty amazing, isn't it? And that's where it disappears.